Here we are. We pick up at game two in the 1965 candidates final between Boris Spassky and Mikhail Tal. Um, Tal had just defeated Ben Larson, and Spassky had just defeated um, Efim Geller in his candidates match, and now these two um, facing in the finals, and it took place in Tbilisi, Georgia, actually, where we had a big tournament earlier this year in 1965. The winner out of this match would go on to face Tigran Petrosian for the world title. The first game between these two ended in a draw. Spassky had the black pieces and played a martial attack in a Royal Lopez and drew quite easily. So now in this game, Spassky has the white pieces, Tal the black pieces, and Tal plays the Sicilian. Knight of 3, e6, Paulson variation. C takes, knight takes d4, and now a6. Okay, knight c3, queen c7, bishop d3, knight c6. All right, so what do we got going on here? Bishop e3, knight f6, castles, and d5, knight b3, bishop e7, f4, d6, queen f3. So this is all like typical Sicilian stuff. Forgive me, new players, for not going into any like real detail, but this is like all like standard typical Sicilian play. Black, goes for the queen side counter play. That's the main purpose, playing a6 in order to reinforce b5. Um, then b4 is threatened, and that indirectly attacks white's e pawn. This was why white takes the time to play moves like bishop d3 to fortify the e pawn. Even queen f3 helps to fortify the e pawn. Black has his pawn preponderance in the center, which makes it very difficult for white to, use the e5 and d5 squares for any mounting any attacks. This creates great imbalances in the position. Black is usually trying to play either d5 or e5, depending on, what white does. So the position is very flexible, and it's one of the reasons why it's one of the favorites of many players from the white and the black side, because it creates the stage for a dynamic and fighting game. Castle, a4, and now b4, driving the knight away. Knight goes to e2, and here Tao decides on the move e5. You see, so sometimes in some positions d5 will get played, but here e5, and you can see, some reasons. For instance, a bishop coming to g5, g4, for example. So Spassky shuts that down with f5, and now Tao just plays the move d5 here. And Tao is a very dynamic player. Notice that the d5 square is protected. If the e takes d5, the queen is protected, so it's not like knight takes d5. It's possible there. However, Tao has this move e4 in mind. And let's say after bishop takes e4, knight e4, e5, attacking the queen, queen f6, queen f5, f4, and then bishop d6. It's very, it's unclear. These are the type of positions that Tao enjoys. Queen h4, bishop b7, and the position is murky. At best, it's hard to say like who's better and who, and this fits right into right. This is right up Tao's alley. So the d5, Spassky plays knight g3. But this, once black achieves this break in the Sicilian, he's usually, a-okay. Tao could even play d4 here if he wanted to. Just the knight g3. A lot of players would have just played d4 and been good. Okay. But Tao wants to keep this tension in the position. This wants to keep, keep the tension in the position. Knight a4, knight a5, excuse me, and then so e takes d5. So he gives up the pawn. Okay. Bishop b7, knight e4, knight c4, bishop g5. It's like Tao is always playing for, like, the initiative, always playing for these type of, messy looking positions. Knight takes b2. Another option was just simply knight takes e4. But the key word is simply. It's too simple. It's too straightforward. He plays something a little more complicated. Knight takes b2. Spassky opts for d6. And d6 looks like a good move because right after bishop takes d6, then he has bishop takes f6, just, trying to rip open the king side. If g takes f6, knight takes f6 wins for white here. Okay, after king g7, excuse me, queen g4, king h8, and queen h5. There's no way out. So Spassky's like, hey, I made a good move. I'm going to either win a piece or I'll just wind up checkmating this guy. He's like, magician from where? Who? But Tao plays queen d6. He just takes the pawn because he has his bishop on b7, and he's like, hey, I'll just play bishop takes f3. Knight takes, bishop takes, rook takes, bishop takes d6, bishop takes, g takes, bishop e4 from Spassky, and rook ac8. And now we look at the position, we see black is better. Black has this pass pawn on e5, so the only thing that can stop it is a piece, which is annoying because that means white is tied up defensively. He also has a target to attack on c2. All right, so and he's up a pawn. So black has come out better in these exchanges here. He has weakness to attack. He's up a pawn, and he has a pass pawn that must be blockaded by a piece. All right, so Tao's plan is pretty straightforward. One, he must attack the blockader on e4. Right, try to remove that, trade it off, what have you. And two, he has a weak pawn on c2 that to attack. So it's pretty straightforward. Let's see what happened in the rest of the game. So a5 from Spassky. He keeps black from playing a5 down the road himself, but he also by him playing a5, he can set up scenarios whereby he at some point might be able to play rook to a4 and harass that pawn. But basically, he keeps black from coordinating a6 and b4 at some point by playing a move a5. So he stops that. Bishop b8, and now he's just improving the piece. Again, there's no counterpart to the dark square bishop, so he's putting the bishop on the best diagonal. Other rook comes into the game. Check, king g2, and now here we go, rook d6. Knight comes out. Now we start seeing the domination on the dark squares. King h3, knight e3. See the pile up on c2. Rook f3, boom, c2 falls. That's one of the plans. Remember, I was saying either attack the bishop, remove the blockader from e4, or attack c2. It's real easy. Rook c1. And now you see this defensive / attacking move. Defending, keeping the knight protected on c2, but now attacking the blockader on e4. Rook d3. Bishop d4. Spassky sees a ghost here and plays rook takes c2. Rook takes c2, rook d4, and then after e takes d4, bishop c2, d3. Bishop D1. He's just busted here. Rook D1. King G4. Rook E5. Rook E2. Excellent move. H4. H5. Knight C5. Rook E1. Bishop takes H5. And Spassky resigned here. There's no stopping D2. After D2, Knight B3, then just D1. Then you'll have this bishop versus rook scenario whereby the rook will just dominate over the knight. So good, good game in typical Tao style. Confusing the position, and then Spassky went wrong. Just making the position, hard, illogical basically. Hard to just find simple moves in the position. And Tao is a master of that. Again, I love this move D5 here. Just it's kind of one of hard. You're between a rock and a hard place. If he takes, he takes D5. And then you have this complicated position with E4. Or if you continue on as in the game, Tao just maintains the tension. He sacrifices the pawn anyway. And then now you're left with this position. And now after D6, this move Queen D6 was just a backbreaker. And he's just left with a better position at the end. White is the one that's now has to struggle to try to hold. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed that game. That was just game one. Okay, we'll see you on the next game.